Congratulations on your own TV show, Peter. How does it compare to be a movie star compared to a goalkeeper legend?
Yeah, well, I don't feel like a movie star. I do, and I had one moment today when one of our public bosses is dressed out with me saving the ball, which is the wheel, which I find really funny. Apart from that, I don't feel like a movie star. It's I don't know. I mean, I do so much TV. It kind of doesn't feel that different, if I'm honest. But this is not streaming until the 9th, and then we see what kind of impact and what kind of sort of public reception it gets, and then then you'd have to ask me there.
Do you think the Manchester United fans will see other sides of Peter Schmeichel than they've seen before in this documentary?
There is. I mean, this is what I understand. Everybody they see another side of me. So I'm absolutely sure if the Man United fans are watching this, they will see another side. That's not a purpose, if you like, to it. It's not like, oh, I want now people to change their opinion about me or how they see me. It's not that. It's just, I was one player playing for the club until a certain point, and then I'm somebody else when I don't play. Now I'm in a different life, I'm in a different career, and I'm older, so you change along the way. And I have long ago stopped caring about what people think, because I can't control that. And if that really becomes important to you, and especially in a world with social media, that can really break you down. If you start watching what people are seeing, reading and stuff and listening to. And there's no point to that. There's no point to that,
From a Manchester United point of view, your relationship with Sir Alex Ferguson is perhaps one of the most interesting topics in the show, and he once called you one of the most influential players in Manchester United's history. What do you think he appreciated the most in you as a leader and a goalkeeper?
I think he understood, in order to win the English Championship, because that was the first thing, and then it became the Premier League, that he needed a top player in every position. So he already, when he came to Man United, he started to bring in top players. I think Gary Pallister was his first signing, or Bruce, one of them, but they came in quite close to each other. Dennis Irvin was the next one, so he was kind of building from the front, or from the back, and he brought in Jim Leighton, who was a fantastic goalkeeper for him at Aberdeen, but also for Scotland. And there is a difference between Scottish and English football. There's a difference between being a goalkeeper one place, and it didn't really work out for Jim Leighton. For some reason, I don't know why, but he had in his mind, he had the idea, I have to build a new team from the back. Now, the way he wanted to play was, of course, turning the game quickly. So accepting and understanding that you will take some pressure and you will concede chances or corner kicks or whatever, but you then need to break down the team quickly. And he knew at the time that there was players like Ryan Giggs, obviously he brought Andrei Kinchelskis in. With that kind of pace, Lee Sharp was already sort of breaking into the team. Players who could actually break other teams down on the counter. But he needed somebody who could also take part in that. And obviously at the time I started to work with an agent, and I said I want to get to Manchester United. And I think he started to sort of mention my name and coincided with a time where they went hot weather training in Marbella, and we were in the same hotel in our pre-season camp, and he watched me train, heard me. He said he was behind the bush watching me in secret. I don't know if that's the truth. But he saw something and became interested. And then he started to scout me, and I know, I mean, Alan Hodgkinson came over and watched me one time, went back and said, "You've got to sign this kid now." you know, and I think he sent him away 11 times. I didn't know that. And I fitted into the way that he wanted to play. So my playing style was the first thing. Now the second thing, of course, was my personality, the leadership. And he was adamant that everyone on the pitch should be a leader. Everyone should take responsibility. And it starts from the goalkeeper. So he kind of felt that the spine of the team, they all had to be strong leaders. All of them. So if you think about the players that went up the spine, you know, you had Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister. You ended up with Ronnie Johnson, Jaap Stam. You had David May. You then had Roy Keane, Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes. And of course up front, you know, you've got Mark Hughes, Brian McClare, Eric Cantona, you know, Ryan played there sometimes, but then Dwight York, Teddy Sheringham, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Andy Cole, all of which have leading personalities in their own way, all of them. So he was picking players out to have that. And then of course you got Dennis Irvin and Gary Neville, naturally born leaders, David Beckham and Ryan Giggs. And it was just something that he was, I always praise him for being brave enough to take on those kind of players, because everyone was self-managed. Everyone was taking directions in not in a positive way. I know what I'm going to do. Don't tell me what I'm going to do, kind of thing. Not saying it verbally, but actually thinking it. But understanding the bigger picture. And this is where he excels as a manager. He bring all these people in, you know, bring someone like Eric Cantona in. Eric Cantona was in 13 clubs before coming to Man United. It's no coincidence that everything that Eric was good at, we saw that with Man United. Ferguson didn't care about his personality outside of football. Didn't care about. It wasn't important to him. It was important what he did when he was on the pitch and in the dressing room and at the club. You know, whatever else he wanted to be, it wasn't a problem for him. You know, and to bring out that talent, I mean, that is a massive achievement by Ferguson. My God, Eric was good. He was.
These days, you're a pundit. You're often at Old Trafford. You see how today's United they struggle. Ruben Amorim recently said that this team is starving for leaders. Is that something you would agree with?
I think it's more. I mean, obviously, because it's tough times for Man United. You know, it's more evident. But I think it's kind of a generation thing. I don't think there are that many leaders in football these days. I actually watched Martin Ødegaard the other day. Proper leader. What a performance he put on against Man City. But then I'm watching Man City and I'm looking for the leaders. They're not there. There's nobody there. They're all not looking at each other like this, but they all need someone to help them, you know. And you've seen this with Man City over the years. They all had this, but they're not there, you know. Ruben Diaz is not playing, so it's a problem for John Stones, who didn't have the best of games. You know, John Stones is not a leader, but Ruben Diaz is. Nathan Ake is a leader, but he's not playing. You know, you got Guardiola, who's very young on the left-hand side, and then you got Mateus Nunes, who has had a bit of an indifferent time, and there's no Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker was the captain. You don't have the goalkeeper, he's ill or injured, so there's no leadership there. You know, you got Kovacic in midfield, who is a decent player, but not really a leader. And then you got Bernardo Silva, the captain, who's supposed to be the leader, and it's not there. And then you have the contrast, the other side. You see Martin Ødegaard, really a proper leader, really running the team. You got Gabriel and Saliba at the back. The same thing. You can just sense and feel that they're helping out everybody, and hence you got the result. But I think a lot of teams are struggling to have proper leadership. I think it's a quality that's gone. And I don't know, maybe it's the coaches don't want people to make decisions for themselves, because then they may be playing in a different way that I want to play as a coach. I don't know.
So what do you think will be the key for Ruben Amorim and Ineos and the whole of Manchester United to get back to those glory days?
I think keeping the cool. Just Ineos has made a lot of tough decisions, changed a lot at the football club already. Very unpopular on certain things, but probably or maybe things that needed to be done. They made the change on the coaching staff as well, and they're slowly making changes on playing staff, and it's going to take some time. Stadium, they've now got support from local councils, and now it's taking it to government level to get some kind of funding for it as well. So it's kind of pointing in the right direction now, but it's going to take time because you cannot let 7 or 8 players go on in one go. You can't bring 7 or 8 players in. It has to be a slow process. And this week actually is a really big week for Ruben Amorim because he's been saying all along, I haven't got time to train with my players. I haven't got time on the training pitch. And therefore we're now he's got a full week. He's got a full week this week. So let's see what happens when they play over the weekend. Does have an impact? Do the players understand it a little bit better? But he needs time, and time, unfortunately, we're going to suffer a little bit still, I think. So let's win the Europa League and then see whatever happens in the Premier League. As long as we don't get relegated, we win the Europa League, qualify for the Champions League, and then have a good summer, a good transfer window.